Welcome to this set.a.light 3D version 3 tutorial. Today, we're going to talk all about models and how to customize them and stylize them to your liking, plus some tips to creating shortcuts for your workflows. So let's dive in. I'm going to go ahead and delete the current model and show you how to import them from the start. So we'll just go to the Models tab, and we can expand this upward to see more. We have a vast array of preset models to get you started. It's helpful to start with a model that's the most similar to the one you'd like to create so that you don't have to change so many settings. For this example, I'm going to bring in Victoria. Let me go ahead and adjust the camera position so that we can see everything in context. Let's quickly walk through the Properties panel for your models. The first tab is for the face. You'll notice we have shortcuts down here at the bottom for each tab. If I want to go to the hair section, I click hair. If I want to go to the eye controls, I click eyes. If I want to go to skin controls, I click skin. And for makeup, I'll click makeup. This should be very familiar to you if you used set.a.light 3D version 2.5, but with a lot more options. I'm not going to go through all of these. They should be pretty self-explanatory, but there are loads of options and I hope you have a lot of fun with them. One thing to keep in mind is that choosing the default skin here is very important to getting the look that you want. We have options for skin tone and shine, but they're based off of the base model. So if we wanted to go with a darker complexion, we would start here, and then we can choose our skin tone from here. And something fun and new with the new version is you can paint your model completely and choose whatever color you want them to be. That looks wild, but it's an option for you. Next, we have makeup. Here you can choose different makeup styles from no makeup all the way to super exaggerated looks. And of course, just like with everything else, we can choose custom colors for the lips and for the fingernails. And you can also choose how glossy the lips are versus how matte they are. Next, let's hop into the clothes section. There are a lot of enhancements with clothes that I would like to go through. So first we have our glasses section. Here you can choose from an array of prescription or sunglasses to suit your scene. You can also toggle different sections with this arrow icon so that you can simplify your user interface if needed. In the clothing section, we have a bunch of presets to choose from. Just as with everything else, these are meant to be a base for whatever look you're trying to go for, but we can customize it completely. So I chose this cool trench coat, for example. Let's go ahead and scroll down, and as you can see, we have a new jacket option. Here we can turn the jacket off or on, or completely change the jacket if we'd like. There are all sorts of options in here. I think this trench coat one's pretty cool though. We can then change the color of the material as well. So say we wanted to go for a bit of a more rain jacket look. There we go. We can change how matte or how shiny this material is as well. A rubbery rain jacket. That looks pretty cool. If we scroll down, we also have the option for an overall suit if you decide to use that. In this case, I'm focused on the top here. I can choose a different shirt if I like, maybe this V-neck undershirt. But as you can see, when I apply it, the undershirt is clipping through the coat. So what can I do? Well, the geniuses at set.a.light 3D have created a prevent overlap feature in version 3. So all you have to do is adjust this until it looks the way you would like. And there we go. It's completely hidden behind the coat. We also have the ability now to change the pattern of the shirt instead of just the color, so you can get different looks. I kind of like this plaid look, but I want to make it a little more vibrant. So let's go with like a dark lavender color. We also have a lot of new accessories in version 3, including gloves. We have knuckle gloves, full gloves, quilted gloves, long gloves. If I were to turn the jacket off, we could see, and over the elbow gloves. As with anything, we can change the color as we like. I think you're starting to understand how this all works, so I won't change the pants too much other than changing the print. We can also control the socks. In this case, her boots cover those completely. So let's look at our shoe options. We have flip-flops, sandals, tennis shoes, dress shoes, high heels, cowboy boots, and everything in between. Next, we have accessories. We have an apron, a tutu, a handbag, and a face mask. Let me turn the handbag on. Let's have it match her gloves. That's pretty cool. We can also add earrings. So here we have a whole selection. Let's choose something fancy, and I'm going to change the color to match her jacket. We have necklaces as well. I think this one looks nice, and we'll make it match the earrings. I've removed the jacket and gloves again because I want to show you the bracelets. When we turn it on, we have the option to choose the type of bracelet, and if it's on the left hand, the right hand, or both. I want it on the left hand in this case, and let's go with something a little different. Maybe like this, and we'll change the color again to match her outfit. The same applies for rings. We have the different fingers of the hands. Let's go with the ring finger on the left hand, and let's change to a different style. And again, I can match this to her outfit. So here we have our model dressed up and ready to go. Let's go ahead and talk about poses. The next tab over is the Pose tab. Here you can choose the location and transformation of your subject, but we also have preset poses we can add. So we can click on the Poses standing button, and that'll take us to the standing poses. We have the lying button, and we also have the sitting button. Let's go to a standing pose and start clicking through these to see if we find anything that we like. I like this one. Looks like she's in the middle of the action, ready to go. And if we keep scrolling down, we'll find the feet controls as well as the hand controls where we can control every finger's pitch, fold, and spread. The next tab is one of the most exciting new features of set.a.light 3D version 3. Here, we can mix every single different model together. In this case, this is already a Victoria base, so when we bring her up, we won't see any change. But what if we want to bring in Alexandra? Well, we slide this up, and we'll see that her face starts to change and look more like Alexandra. We can also do this with Kim, Linda, Gia, and so on. And the great thing is, we can mix all of these together to get the exact facial shape that we're going for. We can also do this with the body, so we can bring in more Alexandra, more Kim, or more Jessica. If we continue down, we can also fine-tune the body shape. We can change the weight of our model, we can change the arm size, bring her waist in, and so on. This is also where we change the height of the subject, so you can simply click and drag here, or you can punch in the exact height here. Finally, we have the facial expressions. If you want to see the face more clearly, simply click this target icon here, and it'll bring your camera directly to the front of her face. We have complete control over each aspect of the face here with these different buttons. You can choose to mirror editing or not, so if I turn this off, I could bring up one side of the nose or the other, or close one eye or the other, but with it on, they work in tandem. We also have sliders for different emotions, so if we want her to be a little more happy, we can bring it up a little bit, or really happy, we can bring it way up. Same with sad, same with angry, as well as surprised and disgusted. And of course, you can mix and match these however you please. There are also sliders that you can use instead of the controls above if you prefer. These are very extensive, so have fun. And down at the bottom, we have preset facial expressions if you'd like to get started from a baseline. Once you get the model exactly the way you want, you can save her to your library. Now, I'm not going to go completely into custom poses, but for those of you who want to get started, I'll show you how to get going. All I have to do is click on our model, and the quick menu shows up here for posing with the little green icon. Select that, and you will be brought into the posing mode. There are two posing modes. One is with axes, so you can control every single joint on your subject, which gives you a higher level of control and finesse. For quick poses, you can also change to the limb pose mode, which allows you to select a limb and click and drag it, or hold shift and click and drag it for different effects, or even option and command to rotate, and so on. You can always reset a pose by clicking either the reset upper half, lower half, or the full body if you want to go back to the default T pose. You also have the ability to pin your hands and feet, which are pinned by default, so that if you're moving the waist up and down, the feet will remain and your subject will move dynamically within the scene. Posing can get super in-depth, and you can have as much fun with that as you like, but I want to show you a quick hack to getting really great poses quickly and save them to your library. To do this, we're going to use the Community tab. So I'm going to go to my community, and here we have all of the user-submitted sets that we can pull into the scene. Here's a really cool pose. Let's go ahead and view this submission. Shout out to this user for this scene. And let's download the lighting setup. Now we can go back to our setup module, go to the timeline, and double-click the downloaded set. Next, all we have to do is select our model, go up to the Posing tab, scroll down, and say Create Group. Here I can name it Hands in Hair, hit Create, and I can hit the plus button to add this pose to the group. Now I can go back to my previous scene, select my model, and choose this pose, and here we have it applied to our scene. So using the Community tab is a great way to share or get different poses that are complex and more diverse than what come with the default set. And there you go. That's a quick rundown on the new model system in set.a.light 3D version 3. It's amazing, and we're excited to see what you'll create with it. Be sure to stick around for more tutorials, and we'll see you soon.